All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The stream is live. It's on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and
Instagram,
also Instagram and or YouTube, or I don't know. And then it'll go to the pod in all the places. Are you guys liking this format? I hope so. We are able to take live questions.
I do want to mention too, if you are listening to it later, we're going to have timestamps directly after it's live. So then you can go and rewind and get to the latest information that we talk about if you missed it.
Great. But for the live listeners, we will take questions. Taylor will screen them, etc. as we get going on this week 8, almost over NFL season. Monday Night Football still to come. Heading into week 9 and heading into World Series game 3, etc.
Big news on that, Doc. Shohei Ohtani and his injury with his shoulder just happened last game. He was sliding into second base. We had big information all over that on SICScore.com.
Well, I got to say, you guys did a good job with that. I will have to admit, A, a lot of time with football. B, I probably was on a little boycott because of my Padres.
Yes.
Look, I grew up a Dodgers fan. I grew up in the LA area. I mean, Ron Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lope, Steve Garvey. I mean, Manny Mota, the Kirk Gibson home run. Yep. You name it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. But obviously converted to Padres and my son and so forth. So I've been on a boycott, but you guys did a good job because I actually was headed to a Halloween party. Don't ask me what I was dressed as. An adult Halloween party with my wife. And of course, she had a great costume because she just paired me with her costume. I didn't exactly love it.
Wasn't she Olivia Newton-John one year, like a couple years ago? I remember one time.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, like great. Like what's
Do
that?
you even know who that is?
Grease. Yeah, Grease. The movie.
No.
What's her name then? What's the woman from Greece?
Oh, it's Olivia Newton-John, but how do you even know that name? You're like,
what do you mean? Come on.
Oh, really? You had a crush on Olivia Newton-John?
No, I just know things. I know things. Come on.
Oh, you know things. You don't. You know, like Grease references like that, but then you don't know Animal House or Stripes references.
I know Jim Belushi too. You can't know. What are you talking to the wrong person here, Doc? It's other generational kids. I totally understand. Don't know things. I know things. Okay. You might.
Olivia Newton-John. Name one song she sang.
I'm not doing any. I can't do any of that.
All right. Who was the co-star of the movie?
John Travolta.
Okay. What was he in?
Oh, he's in a bunch of stuff, but I couldn't even.
What did he start with?
What movie?
Or it's actually a TV show.
I don't know.
It's I forget the name of it. Someone will chime in. It's like Welcome Back, Kotter or something.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
I know the names. Yeah, you're going.
Yeah.
Now I don't know their Wikipedia.
I'm just
page,
trying to see the depths of your knowledge.
It's not that deep. Yeah.
All right, I can't keep secrets, so I won't show pictures either.
Right,
it's embarrassing. But no, my wife last year, she was mad at me. I was out of town for this party, and she had the perfect costume last year. She thought she was dressed up as Barbie. She had a Barbie. I guess the Barbie movie was hot.
Yes, yep.
And so she's dressed up a Barbie in a Barbie the swimsuit, and she had some box thing that looked like she was in a box, like a Barbie.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like the toy. Yeah.
And I'll give you one guess who she wanted me to be.
She wanted you to be a Ken.
More specifically,
I don't know. Sorry, certain kind of Ken, right?
Yes. Like, you don't want to say it, you know.
I kind of do. I saw the movie with my daughter. I saw the movie with my daughter. I know.
You could say it.
Yeah, the swimsuit one, right? Which one is it?
No, you're just not saying it because you're not going to give you grief for profiling.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Asian Ken.
Yes.
My wife was going to have me as Asian.
I wanted you to say it.
She was mad last year because I was out of town. I didn't go to the party. So I think she might have stuck it to me this year.
Yes. Yeah.
So she was, I don't know, maybe feeling patriotic with the elections. She was the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Very nice outfit costume. And then she made me get in this, she wanted it to be, quote, a couple. So what pairs with the Statue of Liberty? Not much.
I don't know. Yeah.
Patriotic theme.
Like a Liberty Bell?
I would have done that.
Like,
Been a little bulky.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam.
That's okay.
It was a bad. I mean, it was Harlem Globetrotter pants, and I mean,
I would love to see that, Doc.
yeah, you're not seeing
Yeah,
that.
I know.
But anyways, I
Yes.
was headed to this party when you guys started calling, texting me
About Ohtani. Yes,
and
yeah.
thankfully, I have this. I call it my mini iPad, which allows me to see lots of good videos. You guys send me stuff all the time.
And you can do stuff on the fly, which is key.
I can do stuff on the fly, and so like this was the Ohtani video. Well, I guess I get so many football videos in here from yesterday, etc. But I mean, you showed this pretty good Ohtani video.
Yes.
Which is why we immediately said left shoulder subluxation dislocation has been said to be, quote, partial, but that's redundant.
Yep.
Subluxation is telling you it shifted in and out.
That's a pop out. Yep.
So say partial subluxation, we don't use those terms medically. The Dodgers are just trying to soften what it is.
Right.
He transiently dislocated his shoulder or subluxed his shoulder. There's no such thing as a, quote, partial subluxation. Potential labral tear or capsular injury. No previous history. Look, in football, if you're not a left-handed quarterback and you hurt your left shoulder like that, you put a harness on it or a strap, you may be out sometimes a week or two, sometimes very little. Baker Mayfield did that on his non-throwing shoulder, and you kind of keep playing. He did that when he was back in Cleveland, I know.
Yep.
Look around the NFL, people with the straps, but baseball's a little bit different. What Shohei Ohtani has going for him is he's not in the field. He's not playing a position. All he has to do is hit. I guarantee you won't steal any more bases for the time being.
Yep.
But he just has to hit. What he has going for him is he's a left-handed hitter, and it's his left shoulder, which is easier. You guys may remember the Tatis analysis with his left shoulder being the front shoulder,
right,
being a bigger deal. Yes, Tatis played through, but yes, he had surgery to fix it. Don't be surprised if Shohei Ohtani needs surgery to fix it, which then we can get into the timeline for recovery next season. He'll play a bulk of next season, even if he has surgery. But let's talk about World Series. If you look at Dave Roberts' comments, and I know it happened when we were in the war room here, but it wasn't really overwhelming. Quote, if he feels good enough to go, I see no reason why he wouldn't be in the lineup. No duh.
Yeah, it's Ohtani.
Shohei
you
Ohtani.
need him in him. Yeah.
Tom Brady racked up his thumb, and you need your thumb to play quarterback years ago, the AFC Championship game. If Tom's good enough to go, we're going to send him out there. He don't need to be 100% to play. No duh.
Right.
I mean, come on. So that's the question. He's in a good spot. He'll be playing. Is it going to be one pitch hit? Is it going to be all at bats? I think it remains to be determined how well he plays. And if you really look at mechanics of the swing, normally back shoulder is better. So I guess with the camera, we're in a mirror here, and I don't like doing models and so forth. But since we're in a mirror, this is my right hand, but it really will look like my left, I guess. I think, right? I think that's how it works.
Flip around, yep.
Or whatever. But the bottom line is, so if it's my right shoulder, or pretend it's left in the image that you see, a dislocation is when the arm gets out here, away from you. Down by your body is safe. Across this way is not bad. Back this way is not bad. This is bad up here.
Right.
How does Ohtani set up in his stance? I'm no baseball only expert. I get it, Pro Football Doc, but I covered the Cubs. I covered the Twins. I wasn't the head team physician. That's why I don't talk about it a lot. I spent an entire spring training down with the Twins. I know a little bit of baseball. My son plays 11-year-old baseball. That might make me an expert.
You're on the staff too, right? You're a coach, Doc. Okay.
Yeah, but that's managing kids. Okay, but Ohtani, he's very much up by his ear. And what does that do to the shoulder? It almost puts you into that stress position. Don't know how sore he's going to be. He may change the way he holds and loads a little bit, but then how does it affect him downstream? So I think this is, look, do I believe Ohtani's going to play? Initially, we said Ohtani, if this were regular season, he for sure would be out. It's not. It's the World Series. The best thing they have going for him is he's not a position player. It's his back shoulder, and they're up 2-0. The worst thing they have going for him, when you sublux your shoulder, you transiently dislocate it, and you may have torn the capsule and or labrum. You're going to be sore. And does it change your setup and your load? Maybe, just subtly.
Right.
Think about your golf swing. You change one little thing where the ball goes, and now you're trying to hit a moving pitch, 100 mile an hour.
Hard to do. Yeah, to change.
Hardest thing to do, hit a base. Anyways.
Yep.
So Ohtani's good enough that, if he can possibly play, he's going to play. But you can't expect MVP Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
Now, I have a bold proposition here.
Might as well say it. Yeah.
In theory, what you're supposed to do to pitch against a guy with a bad shoulder that subluxed, especially recently, left shoulder, for a left-handed batter, he is a pure pull hitter.
Right.
Pitch him inside.
And you bounce this around with people that,
look, I get it. That's playing with fire. You want me to come at a pure pull hitter inside,
and jam him inside,
and let him turn on the ball? You're crazy. The best player in baseball right now. You're crazy.
But he can't get to that right now. So.
But that is what you would do if you want to pitch at him. Let's see if the Yankees will do it or be brave enough to do it. I did run it by some people. I was on, I don't know, it was an LA station.
LA local station,
and Steve Sachs was one of the hosts. And look, Steve Sachs came after Davey Lopes. I know Steve Sachs.
Former Dodgers,
former Dodger. And we talked about it. And when I was talking about it, he says, as you were saying that, he was motioning to his co-host to throw him inside. And look, that's what you need to do against Shohei Ohtani. You got to be brave to do it.
And you can't miss.
You don't want to miss. My guess is they'll do it first time up.
Okay.
Nobody's on base.
Right, that's right. Lead off. You can try some
lead
things.
off.
If
you challenge him and he gets you, you're not.
You got burned a little bit.
You got burned a little bit. You burn your hand. You didn't burn your whole body. Right.
Right. That's good.
Then we'll see what happens. But I think they're going to challenge him inside, and I don't think he's going to be Shohei Ohtani that we think of. Right.
Yeah. So
but because he's so good, he's going to try and play. Sure.
75%. Ohtani, he's in the lineup, especially like you said, he's not even in the field, right? So he can have a little bit time off.
Or is that enough baseball for everybody?
There you go, right?
And Freddie Freeman, we've been saying all along, he's fine. I mean, he was so fine, we didn't get the Kirk Gibson trot.
I was about to say,
on the home run.
That's what people were saying. You were like a week away from the Kirk Gibson trot almost, right? With that ankle injury.
Well, when he first got hurt at the end of the season, I was like, he'll be back for playoffs, and he was. They spot used him a little bit, but he was
couple
back.
Games off,
that would have been matchup too. They got to get.
He's a lefty hitter too.
Lefty hitter, and you have Muncy. They can move over, and you got to get Hernandez in there. He was hot. He's been the hottest guy on the Dodgers.
The Padres series. I know you don't want to hear it. He was pretty helpful in that series.
So much for boycotting. I guess I still know a little something.
Yes, you were watching. Yeah. I want to jump into the next thing. Just leads in. We'll have a sick pick for baseball, obviously, with that injury information. Today is obviously the sport Equinox, right? All the major sports are going to be played today. We went 19-11 in our NBA, NHL, and college football picks this weekend, which is pretty big.
Why are you being so sexist, Taylor?
I'm sorry.
All the major sports?
All the majors.
All the men's.
All the. I mean, WNBA just ended, or I would have added them too. The championship just ended. What's today? Monday? Oh, there's no golf today too. It's not Thursday yet. All right.
Look, don't at me. I'm just trying to be funny here.
He's prodding me. Yes.
I'm prodding him a little bit. I'm trying to give him a hard time. No, it is a sports equinox.
Yep.
Equinox, same thing. Potato. NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and NFL. We can talk Monday Night Football too, but that's the major sports there. Pretty cool. But it is I just jokingly say male sports Equinox
Yep.
Day, but whatever.
I can't even get you a women's soccer game. It's not even until November, so I'm trying here. But there's MLS men's soccer, but yeah,
some men's Equinox.
Yes.
No, just kidding. But in all fairness, look, I have lots of friends. I mean, most of you probably bet football, but if you want to help or tip, I mean, we do the injury analysis on NHL, NBA. Look, I think you told me this weekend, non-NFL, in addition to the NFL, which the guaranteed pick hit, whatever.
3-0 for the year.
Yep. You were 18-11.
19-11.
Oh, sorry. 19-11 plus 8
yes,
on non-NFL this weekend.
Right.
That's a winning NBA, college football, and
hockey,
NHL.
Yes.
Record there. So if you want to have some fun on the sports Equinox and you're not sure, take a look at SIC Picks. I think you've got a guaranteed pick going up this week.
Yeah, we're 3-0 for the year, and we'll have one this week later on. We haven't, obviously, we got to get the numbers.
It's not posted yet.
But we'll have one, and we have a very good record. And
we don't try and post the guaranteed picks when it's a floating line on Monday, when you may not be able to get it.
Correct.
We want the line to be stable, where you don't have to be checking your phone or email every second and to get that line. But we'll have it out for you. And now it's last week it was a total Arizona Miami over, which hit
over 46. Yeah, we had that one.
Yeah, nicely. But anyways, if you want some help on sports Equinox, go to SIC Picks. There's a guaranteed money back pick this week, and have some fun today.
Big day today. Yeah. So we'll jump into the rundown here. Got lots of questions. We've filled up the people on this podcast. Obviously, one of the top questions, Doc, is another injury to mobile quarterback Jordan Love from the Packers. Your thoughts on his groin injury going into a big Lions?
Oh God, you're going serious for us. You're letting. I thought you'd lead with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I know it's true, huh? Yeah, I should.
I thought you'd lead.
I had him on Unbeast of the week at the end here. I was going to be mean to him, but yeah, because McAfee already talked to him earlier about what happened too. I guess we can do it now. We're already talking about it. Just from, I guess, you're being on the sideline. What are your thoughts on someone saying?
Well, I'm not going to throw you under the bus or anyone else under the bus, but we're watching here in the war room, right?
Right.
And a lot of games on, and we see him take a pretty good hit on the run.
Yep.
To his thigh.
Thought it was I
was like, well, it could be a thigh contusion. It's not bad. He'll be back in the game. And then someone in the room, who shall go nameless, says, "Oh, it's his head. It's a head check." Like, what are you talking about? We didn't even hit his head, but he tapped his helmet. I'm like, yeah, that's a universal sign for take me out. I need to sub.
It was me, guys. Okay.
Yeah, he tapped his helmet. That's a universal sign for take me out
of the game. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And look, I'm torn on that one. There's no question that it's a bad look when you're a quarterback. It's a bad look if you're every player, maybe, but players do it all the time. Running backs, I mean, the great LT used to do that. Now, was it 3rd and 1 and a key part of the situation? I mean, it was 3rd and goal, 3rd and 23 goal.
Right.
So it wasn't going to convert.
Just bring Michael Turner in, get a couple of yards, give him a little break.
But LT would tap out
at
will, and maybe not in the big moments, but it was just part of the understood rotation. But when you're the starting quarterback,
it's a little messy, yeah.
And it's 3rd down and goal, although 3rd and 23. And Shane Steichen helped him out, saying, well, we're going to run the ball there anyways. We're going to do anything. So he wasn't worried about it. Because, he could have, I don't remember the timeout situation. He could have called the timeout, kept him in the game. But it's just a bad look to say he's tired. But you know what?
Should he have lied? Is that like a white lie? Just be like, hey, I needed to do something else or whatever? Or is this, he's just being, I don't know.
I mean, that's where I'm torn. I don't want to skewer him.
Yeah.
We want players to be honest.
Right.
He was honest, and he's getting skewered for it. I mean, he could have easily have said, and the team could have easily have said, he took a pretty good shot to the thigh. He didn't want to harm the team because he didn't know what the play call was. Maybe it called for him to run the ball again, and he needed a minute.
Okay.
And he didn't want to cost the team a timeout right there. And then let me make the decision. But once he came over to the sideline and you thought he's okay, I could have inserted him back into the game after a timeout or something, but we're going to run the ball anyway, so it's no big deal. This is what we're going to do. That would have like whitewashed it over.
Right.
Like, I'll go back to poor Sam Darnold. His career got destroyed with the
comment.
I'm seeing ghosts.
Yes, the comment, yep.
I'm surprised anyone lets them be mic'd up anymore if those are the comments that get aired out there. Because a lot of things happen. He got me there. I was confused. This I'm seeing ghosts is haunted, pardon the pun, his career.
Yeah.
Now he's turned it around this year, obviously, but he still hears the I see ghosts. That's a common term, like, they're fooling me out there. And he was a young quarterback at the time. It's unfair to put that out there. Here, self-inflicted, he did it himself.
Yeah.
I like the honesty, but I get why he's being criticized. So I'm torn.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
No, I totally understand. I think if anything, that probably maybe happens sometimes. Like you said, maybe it could happen and he should have maybe lied there. But like you said, I don't want to take away from the honesty thing too. Like, it's good that he's being honest. And I'm with you too. It's very hard to judge whether it was wrong or right.
I mean, he gets viewed as giving up. I mean, Anthony Richardson's best thing going for him.
What is that? He's young.
It's not the number one thing that people will talk about today.
Yeah.
Tyrique Stevenson's got that one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He's got that one. He's
crazy.
got that one. And I heard an interesting thing from Matt Eberflus this morning.
Yep.
Not only, now I know people hate Matt Eberflus and
they don't like him, but it's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. I don't know what the assignments were there. It is a bad look to be taunting the crowd. It is a worse look to have your back to the ball when the ball is snapped.
Right.
Of course, he turned around, quote, in plenty of time to join the play. But it comes up to question, what really was his responsibility on that play? Yes, he was on that side of the field. But once the play is going to away from him, I'm not sure if it was his responsibility to jump up and tip the ball, because you had two people there jumping up to tip the ball.
I think usually said something else.
Yeah. Usually you have an assignment of you're high pointing, batting it down. You're in front.
You're bodying the receiver.
And you're in back.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, was he supposed to run in back and he just didn't do it because he got caught out of position? If so, it makes the bonehead play even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He mistimed his jump and he tipped the ball, but was he even supposed to be the guy to tip the ball? And was the fact that he was out of position with his back to the ball went, oh shit, let me just go get back there. And instincts took over.
Yeah.
Instead of surveying the field
he
and
went to
realizing
the ball.
he had Noah Brown on that play, right?
Yeah.
That would make it even worse.
Yeah, because Eberflus, all he said, it was just that he just needs to put a body in Brown. So he didn't really necessarily say Stevenson was Brown's guy. Just in theory, if he needed to see the situation, like you said, see Brown's there and body him instead of running to the ball.
And if that is not his predetermined situation, perhaps if he had a split second more to survey the field from the snap of the ball, he would have realized that was his responsibility.
He could have figured that out. Yeah.
It might be I don't know their rule. First two guys get high point the ball. The third guy get in front for the tip forward, and the fourth guy get in back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what their rules are for their jump ball plays at the end. But anyways, he takes the crown over Anthony Richardson. He's glad that happened. Because
they're going to be showing that on every single team, right? Because that's kind of how you don't play that situation. Like, that's kind of a training thing for other teams, right? Just from visual standpoint, maybe.
Well, and let's go straight to it since it's that game.
Yep.
Yes, I'm waiting for the freezing old takes exposed. I was wrong. Jayden Daniels played. And you can argue he's tough and he played pretty well. I might say that there's no question it's an L, and I'm not trying to talk myself out of it. But rib injuries are harder to play through and you can't block it. And you saw all the heat pack stuff that he was getting in between. It wasn't a towel. It's hard for a rookie to play without practice. There was risk of additional injury. That didn't happen, thankfully. They didn't care about the number one versus number two. And the final reason, Marcus Mariota is good. But in the end, I was wrong. He played. But I'm just saying narrative. If you take away that last couple of plays and I know you can't take it away. With those last couple of plays, including the big bomb, he got over 300 yards.
326. Yep.
If you take away that last little couple of plays with less than 30 seconds left, now you can't take it away. I get it. Or if that ball falls to the ground, okay, what's the narrative? Jayden Daniels, an 82% completion guy, was 50% completions.
He's usually above 75, and he was 55 that day. It was his worst,
adding the few in the end. He was 50 at the start of that drive, correct, or under 50.
Mm-hmm.
And his team will have scored 12 points and no touchdowns. And his team previously was 31 points a game.
And the least points now they scored is 20.
But they averaged 31.
Yeah. But I'm saying they scored always over 20. Yeah.
So, absent that great, more reporters calling, I'll have to call back. And I won't say who. I don't want to out him like that.
Wanted man. Yeah.
Anyways, the narrative would be different. This is instead the narrative's, oh my God, Jayden Daniels an absolute hero, and he is. He was a beast. He played through, and he is. Mm-hmm. I was wrong because he played. Yes, I am.
52 rushing yards as well. He ran the ball.
He did run the ball without fear. Good on him. Mm-hmm. Okay. However, the narrative would be completely different. It would be 50% completions,
no touchdowns.
Right. Yep. What happened to the 31-point offense? They only put up 12, and he wasn't that accurate as they were talking about on TV.
Right.
So it's interesting. It's fine. It's an L. I'm not saying not. I'm just pointing out how that flipped the betting fortunes of people, that flipped the victory, that flipped the narrative.
Lines,
it flipped a lot of things.
Yeah, because you released a video before, and it had 5 reasons, and you even got a 6th reason from PFT with his El Camino not starting. Remember, he said it was a 50-50 chance of it.
Well, actually, the 6th reason, the 7th reason was the left tackle's out for the first time, and Montez Sweat. Revenge game.
Yes.
Another reason. So all the stars lined up that I thought he would not play, and I'll back it up again. And it was wrong. He played, so good on him.
Oh yeah, we'll go back to Jordan Love. Obviously, just another injury, the groin. What are your thoughts on the big matchup against the Lions this week?
This is a matchup they care about.
Lots.
The matchup number 1 versus number 2 over a pick, snooze fest in the building. No one cares.
6-1 team versus 6-2 team. Yeah.
This is for first place in the division. This is a big deal. This is very important. And here's why. Here we go again. Prognosticating.
Yep.
I think it's a tough task for Jordan Love to play. Here's why. Groin strain, left. We were watching him limp on several plays before. We couldn't tell it was groin in the beginning. I was watching and saying, I don't see an aggravation of the MCL. The good news, it's not an aggravation of the MCL. He still has a brace on. It's a groin. Did the brace have something to do with it? Did the dragging that leg have something to do with it? The heavier brace? Maybe. But he tried to play through and then finally exited because it got worse. A injury that you try and play through that gets worse, that's the muscle injury, is not the pattern to play. Now, if this were Jair Alexander, 100% he's out. It's not. It's a quarterback. The skill sets are different. Would they want him back there more in shotgun, which they do a lot of anyways,
right,
and less running? Maybe. But you still have to be mobile in the pocket and move around. Because I'll say this, they have a bye the following week, correct?
Yes.
If this weren't the Detroit Lions game, I would be as strong or stronger on my reasoning that he would be out than the Jayden Daniels, which, yes, I was wrong on. Thank you. But I'd say, no, he's not playing. They're going to use the bye to get him healthy as well as skip this game because he really won't be anywhere near 100%. But if you put out there, okay, it's Malik Willis. Yes, he won 2 games, without Jordan Love. But honestly, this groin injury is potentially a bigger deal than his MCL. His MCL, he missed 2 weeks and then returned to play. And like we said, we were always targeting that Vikings game at the time, right? From week 1, week 4 game. But this is the Detroit game here. And if it weren't the Detroit game, I think he's out.
Yep.
I think he's still going to be out. but I think they're seeing and trying.
I know we always bring up your best friend, Philip Rivers, but like if he had this type injury, would you be totally fine with him playing through it?
You know, the groin can still affect a Philip Rivers.
Okay.
But less so.
Okay. Yeah, it's always going to be that. I know. We always set him up for that.
Yeah. He's a statue.
Yeah.
I love you, Philip. He's
Yeah.
a statue.
Yeah.
He'd tell
Pure
you that.
pocket. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, no, he doesn't avoid sack. Well, he does. He avoids sacks by throwing the ball away,
Right.
not by running around like some of
Yes.
these guys do.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
we got a lot of questions on this player. Thank you, by the way, for trying to give me Pulp Fiction. I didn't see that in time. He was trying to make me look smart on here. One of the listeners trying to give me a Travolta movie, which I should have known.
oh, Travolta Pulp Fiction is
Yes.
great, but that
Yeah.
came well after Welcome Back,
yeah,
Kotter.
Yeah.
He
You asked me what other Travolta movies. I think he was trying to help me here. But
Yeah.
yeah. But
no,
yeah,
that's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying his start was on
that
sitcom TV.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
He was trying to help. All right. Oh, we have so many questions with this guy. Brian Thomas. They're releasing it said ribs, said chest in the game. You're saying 2 to 4 weeks. You're saying, is it what kind of rib injury? There's a lot of different stuff here. What are your thoughts on the Brian Thomas injury?
Not rib fracture.
Yes.
It's rib cartilage / muscle.
Mhm.
It's a little bit Jayden Daniels.
Okay.
Now, can Brian Thomas play through like Jayden Daniels did? Difficult.
Okay.
Different positions.
Right.
First of all, he has to block. I know he's a wide receiver.
Still has to block. Yeah.
Secondly, he needs a lot of agility. Third off, he exposes his ribs quite a bit downfield. Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks is probably right. And it's also 2 to 4 weeks for Jayden Daniels to get it past him, but he's able to play through. In some
Right.
ways, it's like Ohtani. If he were a left-handed pitcher, I know he's right, he'd be out 100%.
Right.
If he were in the field, he'd be out of the field and into the DH category, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or field. You got to
Mhm.
field the position
You're
too.
right. Yep.
It's the sport specific. And that's one of the things we always try and do is injury analysis and even the type of runner, the type of player, not just all players, right? I mean, a high ankle affects Patrick Mahomes less
Mhm.
than another quarterback because of throwing style, off axis, off platform, etc. So this is a case of that. It's similar injury to Jayden Daniels, but I think also he doesn't play because it's harder to play wide receiver than quarterback, believe it or not, even though it is still hard to play quarterback.
And he's been a fantasy superstar this year. The 573 yards, 5 touchdowns. His rest of his wide receiver core took some huge hits. We'll go into bigger names first, but I just want to knock out these Jaguars guys. It's already knocked out already. Christian Kirk. He suffered a broken collarbone. He was thrown down on the play. He's out for the season.
We were hoping AC, but turns out to be collarbone. Expect surgery. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's done for the season.
Yeah,
because you don't see Jacksonville being
going
alive.
to the playoffs or being alive here. Yeah. Do you think he would be
I-
playoffs or before the playoffs? If
In
they
the
were?
NFL,
Yeah.
I've gotten people back after clavicle fracture surgery
Okay.
and return in as soon as 4 weeks. Is there some risk? Yes. Are there different types of fractures? Yes. So 6-8 weeks is not unreasonable for a return. And there's more than 6-8 weeks in the season. Even 8-10 weeks would be fairly safe for a return. But the Jaguars, they're not.
They have a bye
be,
week in there too, in like week 12.
They're not going to be. I mean, it's week 9, so we've got 9 more weeks.
Yep.
Well, I guess 10.
9, yeah, 10, yeah.
8's done, so 10 more weeks in the season. He could be back for the end of the season, but if the Jaguars are out of it, he's not.
They're 2-6 right now.
They're 2-6, and how are they going to get into it without him and some of the other?
And Thomas maybe for a
receivers?
couple weeks, like you said.
And Gabe Davis left with a shoulder.
That is the next one, yeah. So the next wide receiver I want to mention, Doc, that took a bit serious injury is Stefon Diggs. Not yet official word on what the type of injury is. What are your thoughts on the knee? Didn't really hit our confidence level, right, on the type of injury it was?
Well, we have a lot of worry for Stefon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
We try and be 95% certain. We're 95% certain that Shohei Ohtani subluxar dislocated his left shoulder, so we said it. We're 95% certain on other injuries when we look at video, so we say it. We were 95% certain it was rib cartilage on Jayden Daniels, so we said it. This one by video, we only had one angle. We didn't get to the 95% confidence level. If we had a second angle, maybe. But we do have our suspicions and worries. non-contact, cutting. I don't see the telltale giveaway sign on the knee. We're in the 75, 80%. We're in the lean range of bad news, but we're not there. So we don't try and clickbait and say it. But the worry would be an ACL tear. But we don't see enough to say for sure. To the 95% confidence.
They do play Thursday, so at least it's safe to say and kind of rule them out.
Yeah, he's not playing Thursday. But look, if he can play again this year, we'll take it, right? Or the Texans will take it. But at this point, Nico Collins is back before Stefon Diggs is back.
The Saints just released, Darrisaw just spoke and said Derek Carr will be back in practice Wednesday, and he's optimistic of his availability. Do you agree on that against the Panthers this week?
We're trying to do line move.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Not me.
You know, in the room, I was saying Derek Carr is back this week. Let me tell you why Derek Carr is back this week. I'll give you 3 reasons. Number 1, it's time. I think the initial estimate was a little too long. And I had some soft optimism. He can even do it even earlier than this.
Right.
Number 2, the oblique injury is not that dissimilar because oblique's attached to the soft cartilage ribs as well to Jayden Daniels. So he's like, yeah, it's time. Jayden Daniels did it. I'm doing it. And also, I mean, the team needs him. And Derek Carr likes to be the riding on the white horse.
To save the day, to beat the Panthers.
It's not bad. It's good leadership quality. But they play the Panthers.
Right. I would say that's a lower 6 score. So it's like he does do that, though. Like he did it on the Raiders.
That's your guy.
I know. I said on the Raiders, he's done it multiple times. When we were talking, I don't know if you just said we thought he might play the Thursday, right? Just on the way he kind of
didn't make it.
Yeah.
Right. But this is why I was pretty certain he was playing this game.
Yeah.
Not a surprise.
I just want to talk about Andy Reid did mention this. This is like we have a hangnail thing. If a big guy gets a hangnail, then we need to talk about him. Patrick Mahomes did limp a little bit. Reid said he suffered a slight ankle injury. He said he's fine. You didn't see anything in that either. He stayed in the game, didn't miss any time. So
his dad bod is strong.
There you go. Yes,
so he's been very resilient. He came back really quick from that knee-cap dislocation. He played through the high ankle. He's shown to be very resilient to injury.
I want to talk about Denzel Ward, actually. We always we talked about Olave. Speaking of Olave got another concussion check this week. He did pass through. We had worry from Denzel Ward. He has 5+ concussions in his career. He was ruled out, and he's in concussion protocol now. What are your thoughts on him? Number 1 corner for the Browns.
Well, if this were a quarterback and he postured, he'd be put on IR.
He'd be asking if he should retire or not. Yeah, exactly. Yes,
because he's not a quarterback. It wasn't a single national TV game. He didn't posture. The rumble will not be as loud, but it would be a big upset if he cleared concussion protocol for next week. Would be a big upset.
Speaking of another concussion, Drake Maye, rookie for the Patriots, suffered a concussion during last week. Your thoughts on his availability going into the Titans game?
We don't have statistics for this year yet, although we're getting closer. But historically, it's been about 50-50. And
what about the rookie part? Like no practice, do you make that less than 50-50, or is it still the concussion still the same?
Well, the concussion clearance doesn't change.
Yeah.
The coaching decision could change. If Gerard Mayo wants to say, look, okay, he's cleared, but he didn't get practice reps this week. I'm going with Jacoby Brissett. He wouldn't be benched. It would just be protecting him for the future going forward. If he says, I don't want him to get a second concussion this week and then be out an extended period of time, affect his rookie season, he could make that coaching decision. The medical part doesn't affect that. And either he's going to get cleared or he's not. And the typical pattern is DNP, LPFP. There have been other LPFP patterns, but you need an FP to get cleared. So will he get cleared is 50-50. Will he start? That's a Gerard Mayo decision.
We had 2 injuries on the night game last night. They do have a bye, the Niners, but we obviously have questions on both. Is Jordan Mason with the shoulder, and then Deebo left the game late with his rib injury.
Deebo, look, performed pretty well. Didn't play all snaps.
No, that's you. Yeah.
Probably played more than we thought. Obviously, when he was in, they targeted him, right?
He had a little big 47-yard catch.
Yeah. They made a point to get him the ball
Mhm.
early. Bye week. Couldn't come at a better time. Not really worried about Deebo. Jordan Mason, too, with 2 weeks of rest, he'll be pretty good. Just in time for who else?
CMC. Yes. And it looks like it's like a scheme thing.
What month is it?
It will be November.
Okay.
Yes. You are on record of saying that first week of November is the biggest chance. Yes.
I said he will return in November.
Mhm.
The question is when in November. It wasn't going to be October, and it will be November. Now, I hope it's still November because it could be December, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be November. They're going to open up his practice window and get going.
I'm going to mention a couple offensive lines first. Right now, you got remember the Thursday night injury. Left tackle for the Vikings will be out for us this season. That's a big loss. Christian Darrisaw. And then you have I want to speak on 2 offensive lines, the Bears and the Bengals. Bears lost Braxton Jones, who's week to week with a knee injury. Then you have Tevin Jenkins, left guard, with a knee.
Bears lost the game and got some offensive line injuries. But let me ask you, what's the bigger offensive line injury affecting the team? Is it Christian Darrisaw or is it Andrew Thomas?
I believe it'd be Andrew Thomas. The one thing we haven't seen enough of the Darrisaw, but I mean, the second half of that game, you saw the Vikings were definitely in trouble. Yeah. But they haven't run the ball at all. And we also need to see the Giants tonight,
don't
too.
Don't bag on my guy, David Quisenberry. He's a San Diego guy.
He's been around forever. He's a stalwart. Yeah. But
I mean, it's hard to come in as the backup like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. And all of a sudden, they'll scheme it up better, give him some more help. Just like Andrew Thomas's replacement. I mean,
so I'll speak on that this week. So what they're going to do is the right tackle has been playing really well. Evan Neal was on ankle surgery. He didn't make it enough time to start this year. So this right tackle, Jermaine Illuminor, has played really well. They're going to move him to left tackle because he can play both. So Neal can come back up and play his first game. So it lessens right tackle, makes left tackle a little better. But now you don't like that, though, because now it kind of lessens 2 spots in the line now, right?
Yeah,
so
it's a domino effect.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look, do you want TJ Watt rushing against first game right tackle Evan Neal, or do you run and rush against first time in a while left tackle Illuminor?
Exactly. Yeah. He's been one of the best right tackles, but now you're moving him away from there. So you're hurting a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to mention the Bengals O-line. We were already worried about Orlando Brown playing. Remember, we did what can Brown do for you? Brown's obviously out for the season. Orlando Brown did not finish the game. Do you think they're going to try to do that again and risk him not finishing the game, or let him have a week off?
Yeah, they're impacted on both sides. And, we don't like that. That's what we didn't like the Bengals coming into the season. We thought they had potential issues at both tackle spots. And it really comes down to, to be overly simplistic, you can shift the protection one way. You can't shift it 2 ways.
Right.
Right. And so that's essentially what I'm saying about the Giants too, right? I mean, you got to have one of those guys be solid. Otherwise you're going to have a problem. Maybe they will be, maybe they'll both be solid, but that's, you can't,
it's hard to
take care of both
around.
Sides. You don't have enough bodies to take care of both sides.
The Browns get lucky because Wills is out, but they have a kid like DeJuan Jones who can play left and right and just spell Conklin and Wills, which is helpful, right? Some teams don't have that. I'm going to jump into Beast of the Week just to finish this off, Doc. From the room, we had a nomination of just Jayden Daniels' last play, right? Just him being able to do that. I couldn't really find much else. It's hard to watch the video from, 6 score. We were on the other side, right? The SIC Picks, but it was a great play, right? You don't see that often.
It was well, will it go down? This is an honest question. And I'm not trying to denigrate Jayden Daniels. First of all, the ball he threw he threw it 62 yards, whatever. Someone measured it and said in the air. It was a different ball. I don't know if he always throws it. He didn't throw an Aaron Rodgers ball. Aaron Rodgers does the moonshot balls to drop down behind. Right. This was more of a flatter pass.
Right.
Still, it got there. The tip happened. Great play. You can't take anything away from it. And he had rib issues, and he threw the ball that far. Great. But in the annals, as we look back at this, will it be looked upon historically as Jayden Daniels' greatness or Tyrique Stevenson's stupidity?
Yeah, because if you,
It's a question.
Yeah, because like if Tyrique Stevenson's there, you're not going to even talk about that. Now it's two things now. Yeah, and one might trump the other. Yeah, so
and look, if Jayden Daniels can, Tyrique Stevenson better hope that Jayden Daniels continues to ascend, because if he continues to ascend, perhaps history will look at this as the moment that he's already been a star this year, no question, right? But the moment he played through injury, this, that, the other, and hang this on his mantle, hallmark game, kind of thing, completed the pass, unless Tyrique Stevenson.
right. Yeah.
I don't know. But that's a good beast play. The other beast play I might say is Chris Olave just came back from concussion, and he got blown up.
Yep.
Past concussion screen and stayed in the game. That would have been a multi-week absence, at least, or even IR absence if he was ruled out for concussion after just coming back. So that certainly is a tough play. Another nominee, we always say don't judge the reaction, but injury. But Lane Johnson looked like he was crawling. He was crawling, floors,
yeah.
But he came back in the game, tough as he is. So there's a few of those, and beast of the week here.
I had Steichen just talked about Anthony Richardson. He said if Anthony Richardson will start Sunday Football Week 9, Minnesota, he said we're evaluating everything. So not sure what's going on there, but he still is dealing a little bit with the hip thing, but that's a little bit past, right?
We'll evaluate everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to look to make sure I missed something injury-wise, but yeah, that's what Steichen just said right now on the podium. So they do have Flacco, right? But yeah, that's an interesting take.
They didn't play a bad game overall, although his completion percentage was horrid.
And it's horrid all year. Yeah, it's a problem maybe.
So if there's a switch there, it won't be because he tapped out.
Is this like sending someone to AAA for baseball, get your swing back or something? Like
it will be, you got to complete more passes.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's not he tapped out and we don't like him.
I don't think they're blaming him for that now.
It's more, look, the floor for completion rate nowadays is 60. Right?
He was 10 for 32. Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
the floor is 60, right?
Yeah,
they want you in the 70s.
Yeah,
the floor is 60.
Kirk Cousins is.
If you're sub 60, you're not in the league, and he's sub 50, right?
And he was 55 coming in out of college, so that's always been a kind of damper on him. Yep. All right, Doc. Yeah, we got all our questions. One last thing I did see, a lot of people are asking about Jair. We're going to look more in video and stuff. He suffered a knee injury. That would be an issue.
He's had a few issues, and I think that's going to be an issue. And playing Detroit, at least they don't have Jameson Williams, but still, they've got a lot of other weapons.
Yes, they do.
Detroit.
It was tight end day last week. I remember they had a bunch of tight end touchdowns. Laporta got one too. So
now this is so funny. National Tight End Day, or wherever that came from.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You think it's coincidence that tight ends had a good day?
I think a little bit, but it was very weird that like maybe top 15 tight ends had good days. It was very interesting because usually tight end this year in fantasy wise, it's been hard to pick like the top 5. This year is like this week you had top like 20 performances, I think.
Okay, when you were in school and it was National Journalism Day, did you expect?
I didn't write better that day.
but did you expect a cookie from your professor or something?
We probably wrote more that day.
Okay, in the medical profession, there's
their heart day,
National Nurses Day, and the nurses expect to get fed and this, that, the other. And there's National Physical Therapist Day. And
do you buy lunch though, right? As a doctor?
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Okay. You give them flowers.
Yes.
Okay. On their quote National Day, National Secretary's Day, or Assistants Day, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those days. On National Tight End Day, what do you think happens?
I don't know.
There's gonna be another package or extra play
True.
or two.
You're right. Yeah.
Here are your flowers. We're gonna run this play for you today.
Thank you for blocking all year. Here's an open route here. Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, there's just gonna be a little more attention to. All right. I mean, they're not gonna rip up the game plan and say we're just going to feed you George Kittle because it's a day that you started. They're not going to do that, but there's a tendency a little more to.
I will say Atlanta, they drew some plays for Kyle Pitts. He had some 49-yard touchdowns he doesn't normally have. They definitely set him up for some deep routes normally.
Look, the OCs want to be good with all their players.
Right.
Showing a little love on National whatever day is not the worst thing in the world, as long as they're within their schemes. And obviously, there's a lot of success, so they were within.
I literally just picked a random game because we're talking about Kyle Pitts. You got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, K. Dot, another tight end. He had 81 and 2 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns from both starting tight ends combined.
Yeah, but that one may be just lack of targets.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yes, I agree.
With Evans,
you're totally right with that.
Chris Godwin. I mean, Travis Kelce had a great day.
Yes, that might be the Raiders.
He's no longer old,
yeah.
But all of a sudden, but then again, it's lack of targets, right?
Yep. Okay, George Kittle, lack of targets. You could say
lack of targets.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I
there's
agree.
a little bit of right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
There's a little bit of both in there: scheme and tight ends day, and lack of targets, and it fit. Well, we got to use Kittle more. We don't have as many other targets. We got to use Kelce more. We don't have as many targets, and you get credit for the flowers from the tight end.
It's a win-win-win. Yep.
All right. Thank you much. Thanks for staying with the stories.
Yes.
Halloween and otherwise.
Sports Equinox, guaranteed pick coming up this week as well.
Yeah. And guaranteed pick, Sports Equinox, World Series, Monday Night Football, rolling into more baseball Thursday. Halloween game, always scary.
That's always fun.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't happen. The Halloweens that have fallen on Thursday night games, there have been some big injuries, and I'm going to be. You dressing up?
I am. Yes, I'm dressing up.
What are you dressing up?
I'm going to be Jason from Friday Night 13th. Yeah. I got everything. It's boring, but I have all the necessary tools. So I got a hockey mask. I got a jersey that says his name on the back.
The good news is I will not be Uncle Sam on.
Because you're going to be in public. So you have to show everybody. Right? This was an adult party. Yeah.
No, I'm.
This is the one you're taking the kids with, right?
Oh yeah,
Do you have a family one? Do you share like everybody's the same movie, or do you guys all?
We used to.
Okay.
But the twins are now 12. No,
yeah, Camila doesn't want to do it either.
They want to dress with their friends.
Yeah.
The 7-year-old would love a family costume.
Okay.
Except I'm the only family member pulled in.
Okay. It's just you. She wants a partner with you.
she
yeah.
And just like Asian Ken, it is a little bit of typecasting, if it can be that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play a little quiz. Doug in the room will know it immediately, but this will give away the song here.
Oh, I got it.
And take a guess what I'm going to be.
That's good.
And she's Bluey, and I'm Dad.
Yep.
Or I guess they call him Bingo.
Yeah, so Bingo's the little one. Yeah.
So I have some blue furry onesie.
You have to wear a onesie, Doc. That's how you may be Bluey. Yeah.
Whatever. And she's Bluey.
And he said Doug because that's an Australian cartoon that was bought by Disney. That's why he said that.
Yes, that's why I said Doug would know.
Just,
Believe me, I hear that song in my sleep.
Oh, okay? I'm with you. And there's 54 episodes per season. So she just runs it through, and it's just like I know all of them.
So I will be trick or treating. I will try and watch, but you got to do the dad things.
I have to come find you this Bluey outfit. Yeah, you won't let me ever see it otherwise. So.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening and asking questions. Sports NZ Central, Pro Football Doc podcast, and check out the SIC Picks. Thanks.